Welcome back, guys. We're here for another weekly breakdown, talking through the third week of April. We still have 2 weeks left, so we're still very much in the early stages of the month. Going to go through my week, going to go through what I'm doing on my trading journey at the minute, and also discuss really where I'm trying to improve, because there's areas that I definitely have worked on this week and I'm understanding things more than ever. And believe it or not, all comes back to going to the basics, stripping it back to the bare minimum and going, what did I start with? What was the first initial point of my trading plan? And really then you work out things around that. Let's go through my trading week. We had no trades this week, and I did set up for a few positions that I will discuss. No trades here on FTMO, no trades on the fivers. Wanted to also talk about, this was the last payout that I had. I haven't had a payout now for nearly 1.5, 2 months. And as a funded trader, that does happen. Don't think that when you get funded, you're going to get instantly multiple 5-figure payouts, because it's a slow journey and there is periods of drawdown. If you try and fight the drawdown, you will only lose the account. And the longevity aspect of what we're doing here today and what we've been doing for the last year is to keep our accounts. And if we can do that, then great. The whole point of these accounts are to try and keep them. Risk management is key. You're not going to get anywhere further by losing the account, having to go through phase 1, phase 2 or multiple challenges. So really think about what you're doing in this period to try and keep your capital. It's not always about the payouts. It's just as much about keeping the account at certain times of the year when you do go into a little bit of drawdown. That's the hard thing about overall being funded, is I could go onto my Fivers account and I could say to you, yeah, I'm actually still up from when I got this funded account on the Fivers. So overall it would look good. But then the same aspect, you could look at the other side and go, well, actually, I'm 2.5% down. Well, that's only because I took withdrawals out. And that's the way the mind games come in with prop firms, don't they? We haven't took a trade on this. You can see it's still at about 91.7, and same for this. Just to show you guys and being transparent, I haven't took any trades. You can see that. All right, so what was I looking for this week? After realizing last week, a lot of things, to be honest, mostly down to the fact I'm being too clever on what I'm trying to catch. Go with the flow of the market, go with the trend. I've started to realize, mostly, especially with my higher time frame trading, is I'm not maximizing certain trades from the very highs for sells and the very lows for buys, focusing too much on key levels, using DXY too much as a conflict, like as it has to be exactly the same rather than it as a guide. Also looking at the perspective of liquidity is what I base my trading plan on. Higher time frame liquidity, the drawn liquidity, that's what I should be playing to. And there's, just for an example on DXY here, it's clear as day. As soon as price ran this and continued down and broke it, we ran straight to the next point of liquidity. And really, instead of looking at key level ranges, I would prefer to look more at the ranges that we're creating with liquidity and currently be in this phase of the market, and using the key levels in the background. So I am just going to pretty much sync these to a lower percentage, because I shouldn't be basing moves off these. These are just a nice area as a confluence more than anything else. And sometimes, yeah, you do get too caught up in things that you add in. When I first started trading this way, I had 1 or 2 key levels in, didn't use them as everything in my trading. And I do still like the key levels, but I know now there's more to the trading aspect where everything you need is on the chart. It's not what you add. It's all there on the chart. So here we go. We broke that. We saw last week come down. We ended up breaking this overall low, which was last year's low. We did also come into the further 2023 low and not break through it. So we already know that we're very bearish. Yes, we still haven't broken through this. Once we get proper confirmation below that, I would say we're probably going to come down to this. And as long as we're respecting weekly and daily structure especially, we should be looking for further downside. I understand completely that these areas are at the points that we might reverse, but I need to see signs of reversing, because there's one thing trading what you think and trading what you see is a completely different thing. I want to make sure I'm on top of that. So on the weekly time frame, I am obviously marking up the imbalance fill. I am basically waiting for a retest of last week's areas for a lower high to form to play down to previous weekly low. Simple as that. EU, once again, was Friday's close there. So looking at the weekly here, what have we done? We've broken 2024 high. That was a key liquidity point. This was a key liquidity point. Broke this. So now I'm eyeing up this high as a key liquidity point, because as long as we're breaking through these liquidity points, the whole point of what happens if you come into liquidity and you have an issue at it, so to speak, is if we fail to break this one, there's a higher chance we're going to get a deeper pullback. At the minute though, we're not seeing that. There's so much volatility in one direction, you have to trust what you're seeing. And when you do see things like this at key liquidity areas on the higher time frames, price here had a problem. So what did it do? Pulled back into the weekly POI and then continued bullish after we saw a weekly confirmation candle. So these are the important things that I now understand, and I will need to be more careful of, because there's so many times that I'm misjudging things and trading against the overall bias, even at this point, because I'm just trying to be way ahead of where I'm actually at, rather than what maximizes profits in trading is doing the simple things. But 99% of people don't, and that's why most people do fail. And it's not that I can't do the simple things, because let's say 80% of the time I do, but that 20% or that 30% of the time I don't, can ruin a lot of the profits that I've made. And that's exactly what I've done this year. Made some profit, lost nearly all of it to just being silly. What I'm looking for in EU now coming into this week is continuation to the upside. We've got potential pullback areas here on the daily, and really wait and see a high-low form for continuations. I know that I missed my main buy down here, to be honest. And if this was a significant pullback and a new low to be, made, maybe you could hold higher time frame positions from down here and scale out up to this high. This is where I'm not maximizing my overall higher time frame positions that have weekly confirmation candles. That's what I need to get better at, because whilst I sit here so many times in the week this year and gone, price has moved up, I've not caught anything, I'm sitting out and waiting for a move, rather than going, well, got weekly confirm here, took a buy down here. As long as I'm seeing continuations, I'm holding or I'm scaling out. Okay, I could have gone last week and finally out of this position in full. There I'm maximizing the push, making the most of the volume in the market. So yeah, I am looking for continuation, but I understand that I'm high. Despite this, I'm still bullish. So I'm going to be looking for that. GU, very, very clean option. We can see here, even if we're going to talk from it at a liquidity perspective, at the point at which we broke this, we should be running up to this wick. And what did we do? Consolidation, never pulled back deeper, took out the wick. Okay, nice. We're now breaking through this liquidity, but we didn't see a weekly close above it. What did it do? Pull back into weekly fair value, filled it, continued up. Now we're looking to clear this high. This almost becomes, even though it's just, the prior high of last month, this is also liquidity. And then we're eventually looking to come up into this. So now we know that we've closed through this with a break. It's an easy play up to that. I've missed the buy from the lows. I was looking to get in early in the week. On Monday, I was looking for upside off this, and we didn't get it. So DXY, EU, currently at the highs and lows, not looking for a move yet. We actually see what we did on Monday. We did just trickle down there on DXY. And then we closed weak bearish on EU, and then GU, after setting up for a move, had an option around, where was it? Coming into Monday. Yeah, we're setting up a position around this wick from the previous day. And I think my stop loss about here, looking to target up in here. About 3R, didn't come in. No shock though. The flow of the market is bullish. I should be getting in lower and holding positions and scaling out, which I think still that was a very, very good opportunity. Again, I'm not good enough to be catching that currently. And I paid the price because, look, price ran and took the high out. That move's cleared now. That move's done. We also saw on DXY here, this 2023 low is still not broken. So I'd want to see that break, which the next day didn't do that. So it made sense to pull back into this daily fair value gap. Yes, it isn't the best POI. I understand that. We have plenty of better areas up in here, in these higher areas. But are we going to come and fill that to come down? I don't see how we always need to pull back into the premium or in the other aspect a discount before I get a move. Because when you're trending so hard, for example, up in here, you see this move and you go, okay, I'm going to wait for us to get into premium. You might set an entry up here. Well, what does the price do? Continues down. comes into the nearest POI. So understanding when you're trending hard, where you're more likely to not see the price pull back into the 50%, is more important to just get in when price is showing you on the higher time frames you're going to carry on. EU on Tuesday, we actually seen a nice pullback into this daily. Was waiting for a move to continue there. Obviously Tuesday's done that move there on GU. Bearish close there on Wednesday. So that was my cue to go for a buy. Was looking on the EU for a position coming into Thursday. Here. Order block fair value gap looking to hold just around here below the leg. Wasn't the biggest move in the world. I believe there, this is what happened yesterday. So yeah, on other days would have got tagged in nicely. But what we see here, and I'll talk about this when we finish the week, is even if you go on to today, I would still predict would go up. But let's take a look at the week. Because if many traders, if you're losing this week, there's no wonder why. Because obviously DXY still failed to come and take out the low. I still think it will. This is a week's worth of ranging after 2 weeks of insane volatility. And traders are still going to try and trade the way they were when price was running down like this. And it isn't as easy. And it was always due a week like this. If we were to mark out Mondays or even this weekly high currently, this is the current weekly high. This is the current weekly low on EU. And if you were to look at price action on the 1 hour time frame, all we have done since then is consolidate. This Asian range is tiny. It's an Asian range within yesterday's Asian range. I never see that. It's very rare to see that. And look at it. Has there been direction for the week? Well, on the aspect of, yeah, we took out this low, which was the inducement to come and take out the high. I understood that as well from that perspective, but that's not how I trade in that way on this time frame. So yeah, we may come and take out this high. If we fail, then I would be expecting us to come and clear this current weekly low going into next week. But I'm still bullish overall, yet we are about to create another weekly imbalance here, so we might see that pull back before we get the high cleared again. And sometimes it may take a bit longer to go and clear them liquidity points. As for GU, after it come and took the high out, I mean, I was done for the week because, again, I'm buying at the high here. I'm waiting to see further weekly confirmation candles. We might get a pullback next week. Then I'll be looking at positions probably in around this area for buyers. Maybe come and take out this wick. But it's still going up. And if we look at what we did the last 10 candles on the daily, let's say 9. These last 9 candles, 8 candles, all continued bullish without any pullback, without clearing a daily low apart from yesterday's candle into this small fair value. So we're clearly still trending very nicely and we're just getting continuation moves. And there we go. So if you're a higher time frame trader, understand where you could have got in. I've obviously missed the boat. My biggest shot in this month so far was EU buys from here coming back up into here. And I missed that. So I need to make sure I'm on it because there's going to be a lot of movement this year. We're still going to probably see a lot of volatility compared to this period. So I'm going to have to be ready for that and start trading it a little bit more differently. Not being scared to hold positions for longer because I sit here all the time and I'm not a 5, 15, 30 minute trader for the most part. I am a 4 hour and higher time frame trader. Yes, I do take some positions off 1 hour, 30 minute legs, but they are based on daily confirmation. So I'm really basing every move on a weekly and daily confirmation. Really just got to continue trading this way. We are looking good. Like GU looks significantly clean to come and take out this high now. Not that we will. We could see the pullback. But at the minute with that wick coming back in, filling in balances to downside on monthly and weekly, it's looking great. And I'm really going to sit out because I know the next 2 to 3 trades that I take are very critical. I want to make sure they're high probability because the last 3 or 4 haven't been. And yeah, this is the real reality of trading. I say it all the time, but this is what you guys should expect when you get funded. When you're passing a prop firm challenge, if you can't even sit there and keep a challenge for 1 to 2 months, because a lot of you don't have the money to pump into challenges, and you hear these guys say, I risk 3-4% on a challenge. Yeah, because they're 7-figure funded, they're high 6-figure funded. They can get a 10k payout and chuck 3k into 5 prop firms. What you can't afford to do is to trade any higher quantity in your challenge compared to when you get funded, because these are the periods when you're a funded trader that most will blow their account because they try and trade high volume. They try and trade too much. And to sit out is sometimes the best thing to do. Like, it isn't always, and I know that I've missed moves. But really now for me, I want to be coming into the end of the quarter and going, wow, look at this. I turned this around from April. I went in, and whilst the markets were a bit dry, I understood exactly how to execute in May and June. And now look at how that quarter turned out. I did way better than quarter one. I'm in a great position now, pushing into the later stages of the year to really build up the capital and grow the live account. There will always be some work to do. There will always be periods where you'll slip up. That's what you've got to accept in trading. You're not perfect. The best traders in the world aren't perfect. But what they do is when the times get tough, they really lock in and they, in fact, step it back a notch to allow themselves to build back what they've previously lost. And I think that's the most important thing, is that I'm not here with a lack of confidence talking about everything that's gone wrong and being in self-pity and all of this. I'm really just trying to evaluate stuff with a logical mind, with no emotions, and understanding that the best traders make errors. The best traders will have periods of drawdown. That shouldn't define you. What should define you is sticking to a plan that you know works, trading it the best way possible, and every day coming on and being like, I know what I'm looking for, no trade today. I know what I'm looking for, trade today. So I will filter out what's not working too much. I still feel like there's a little bit of conflict between my analysis sometimes on DXY versus the trading pairs. So I need to figure out how I'm going to move forward with that. But really, everyone that's watching, really just lock in now, because these are the times that will make or break your year. Serious effort that you've put in over the last 6 months could be cleared within this next month. If you don't do the right things, things will all fall apart. If you do the right things, you will have a few wins, you will get out of drawdown if you're in it, and you will progress. You will do well, and it's as simple as that. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ready. I want to really pump out more educational content as well. And I will now be focusing on different styles of videos. I say it a lot. I've realised a lot of people want to see vlogs, and I will start to do day in the life or week in the life, showing you the process of my trading week, because you come and see the end of the trading week, but you guys want to see more. You want to see the start of the trading week, and I want to really bring that to you, and I want to show you what I'm working on and the struggles that I'm having, because there will always be them. Don't feel like you're alone in what you're doing. There's always good traders having problems, and really just push on to the next week, and if we can do that, then we'll end up very well. So take care, guys. Really take it easy the next couple of weeks when the volatility still may be high with China, Trump tariffs. But there will be some good moves, I'm sure. Take care. See you later. Peace out.